Hey, how's it going? I kind of wanted to talk about an idea that I had. Um, Not an idea, but just more of something I've been noticing lately. And it's kind of like monetization on different platforms and how they make money. Um, so kind of how I'm thinking about it right now is obviously, you can get paid on certain platforms, and if you do good, it'll give you money for it. Great, another day, another dollar type. But I think it's kind of the way that people are getting the money in the first place that's kind of becoming a real tragedy. And which is kind of feeling more of the fire that we're having in society. Um, and that's like monetization through misery. uh, you'll look on certain platforms and like rage bait will be the number one thing that people will recommend. The Camelo Anthony case recently is the big one I've been seeing. A lot of just open racism, hate for each other. Things you would never say to somebody like actually in public or to somebody face to face, and it's gotten really ugly where if you've watched my last video, I talked a little bit about how like the feed page is kind of like your one saving grace on like Facebook. That's still kind of the case for this, because if you go on like your homepage, you'll see just amples amount of rage bait, racism, hate speech. I mean, you name it, it's on there. But I think the biggest problem about it is this is stuff that people are getting paid for. Um, Through views, through rage baiting in general. It's actually become a major way of making money in general. I think it's pretty tragic. I don't know if these platforms are running out of ideas because, obviously, there was some rage bait. It's gotten bigger over the years, but just the blatant hate now is so common that it seems like the number one way to make money on these platforms. Because I even saw a post, it was yesterday, and I'm not sure if they were joking or not. I think it was actually real though. They ran like a little study of their own. It was like black people, Asian people, like Indian people, and white people, and they were like, this is how many reactions I'm getting from each demographic. Somebody should pay me money for it, which I kind of find ironic too, because a lot of people are getting paid for these ideas and what they're doing. But they were just circling back, telling you about the certain demographics that they're getting reactions of, which ones got the most reactions, and they said a lot of them by far was like female black audience, and I think it was white females as well. um I'm not sure if this is actually based in reality. I mean, it might be. I'm not sure though. um but it just goes to show how much these companies just don't care about the well-being of your community. And the funny thing is like, Mark Zuckerberg for years has just been talking about we can connect better, we can talk to each other better. You'll be able to talk to anybody you want to. We've never been so connected, but in a way, it's still that idea of the connection is just disconnection. There's not really anybody who is making genuine connections off of these things, off of racism. I don't see anybody becoming friends after that. If anything, you might go out at the end of the day and you might walk around and you might be a little more racist than you were before. um like, look at Jeff Metcalf, for example. He just watched his son die, and the only thing people can tell him, no condolences, no silence for his dead son. All they can talk about is how the family's next, his son is next. They're pissing on his grave with AI generated images. It's really sickening, because I remember a society where we did have silence for the death, and we did give them peace and grace after people passed away. Maybe I was blind to it before, but maybe it should be blind to begin with, because if I never seen that before and I'm seeing it now, there must be something in the algorithm that is pushing this idea onto people, and like letting them see it in the first place, which is wrong. I don't I don't think I think there should be a reason to use social media and there shouldn't be a reason to use social media. But apparently to a lot of these companies, this is the new fashion. This is the new it is hate. Um, I don't have it in my heart. I have to scroll off a lot of times. Um, because I like to remain unbiased. But in the same sentiment, it's just hard to get behind a lot of these ideas in the first place. Like I said, with the driving hate too, it drives a really honest person into a dark place because they see it relentlessly. And you think about how then that carries on to the rest of the day for somebody or somebody who is not fair. Let's say they already had a biased against people to begin with, and then they then see posts like this and it confirms their bias. Um you'll see like white fatigue, black fatigue, those kind of things. I live in a fairly mixed, diverse group of people in my town, and a lot of times we don't really see color. We just kind of go about our day and love each other. Not really love each other, especially not now, but respect each other at least. But that respect in that line is getting driven further and further down as we keep going, because all we're seeing is, like I said, the blatant racism and the hate online. I don't know what the solution is, honestly. If I was in these, if I had all the power in the world with these companies, I would just revert it back to the way Facebook used to be, um, and just kind of stick to normal engagement, normal audience. Like, what are you interested in? Do you like running? Okay, well, here's running videos. And you still get those, like, but look at the stark difference between like YouTube on this platform and then like X, Instagram, Facebook. All of these platforms are just hate groups. Um, and I don't know if that has to do with the freedom of speech too, because I know there was a lot more transparency and they stopped blocking things, but they either go too far or too little. So, what I mean by that is there's before, I'd say about a year ago, maybe year and a half ago, they would straight up block people for like ideas that they didn't like. Um, I remember a lot of it was like transgender ideology and stuff like that, like defending how they feel about that. And then they kind of opened the floodgates and said, "Hey, look, we'll make it more audience based." But I think they failed in this, right, because of the way that it's turned out so far. I don't know what again, I don't know why people are making money off this or how. I find it ridiculous though. If anybody else is like seeing this type of content on their like social media, I mean that'd be great to know, because I feel like I'm the only one. I mean, I look at my girlfriend's feed and she gets like dogs, like cats and dogs. And I don't even react to these videos. I don't like them. I don't comment on them. All I do is scroll, and I seem to get the rage bait. I don't want it. Frankly, I all I want to see is maybe some cats and dogs like her too, but it's not like that at all. It's actually pretty infuriating, and I hope that one day that this is changed and this isn't the way that we structure our society, is to just hate each other, because the more that we hate, the more that we grow distant. I saw a video not too long ago where it was like the difference between the 90s and now, and with how people like thought about each other. And it was actually really nice to see people just being like, no, but no, we're fine, we're all treated equal. um you go through just as much as I do. And I think everybody goes through things time and time again. They'll experience things, but um like overall, I don't think I do think everybody's created equal. I do think that people, have every opportunity that the next person does, given that you're on the same plane platform. But I just wanted to get out that idea. I hope that things change in time. My advice would be to just stay off of the homepage. You don't engage with these. These aren't genuine people. They're honestly a racist, hateful, or they're trying to make money off of you. Now, all three of those ideas piss me off, honestly. I hate that. But there's got to be a different way. There's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Um just put your head down and remain you. I think that, you know, if you might have an idea or biased, it sometimes it is accurate, but I think sometimes going through life with a better intention is the better idea for your own sake. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching.